What's up, guys? Welcome to the 2 Minute Warning with Bet Karma. I'm here with Brett and Justin. We're here to go over some of the stuff from tonight's game and leading us into the weekend. So if you got a minute, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel at Bet Karma. Follow us on Twitter, also at dfskarma.com and soon to be betkarma.com as well. So welcome to the program, Justin and Brett. How are we doing tonight?
I'm good. I'm not enjoying the Philly just scored, but good overall. How about you?
Brett, you doing good tonight too?
Yeah, well, we'll see if the Packers can do anything here in the last 2 minutes, since I got a prop for Green Bay over 1.5 touchdowns in the first half. So the first one came pretty easy. Again, they had 2 additional opportunities to cash it in, got inside the red zone, and then kind of just slowed down. So we'll see if Rodgers can do a little bit of magic here in the last 2 minutes. It'd be a nice little cash, nice little 1% to start the week.
I hate to break it to you, but he just fumbled, and Philly picked up the ball and are first and 10 on like the 20. It isn't good. This is good. So may not happen tonight, but that's it. Rodgers is holding his wrist right now, so we'll see what's up.
Oh, wow.
Yes, he went to the bench holding. It's first and 10 at the Philly, or let's say they're at the Green Bay 17 or something like that. So not
all right,
good.
Get a quick score.
Give Green Bay get Green Bay the ball back, or pick 6 or something going the other way, and you'll be good to go. So
I did take a quick change that is.
Yeah, they got him good after Philly not getting any pressure the whole season. They got a sack finally with a fumble. So not looking good. I know I took Green Bay minus tonight, so I'm confident that Green Bay is still going to come back no matter what happens here. But hopefully they can hold.
As long as Rodgers is healthy.
It doesn't turn. Never mind. Psych. First and goal. So
first and goal.
We're going through.
Is the clock running?
The clock is not running currently. It's 1:09. First and goal.
That doesn't look good for about the 2 touchdowns.
So we'll see what happens. I did do a prop on this game, on a player prop for over 2.5 catches for Aaron Jones. I don't think he has any catches yet tonight, so that's not great.
Well, the thing is I mean, like this Green Bay offense, I mean, you know, they've started off hot now pretty much every week, and then the offense just slows down. I mean, I don't know if it just moves into like it's more conservative play calling, or defenses are adjusting that fast. But I mean, this is now a pattern 4 weeks in a row. It's curious.
Yeah,
doesn't Rodgers just? I'm not going to say Rodgers looks bad, like as a quarterback, but doesn't he look bad for Aaron Rodgers? Just like missing guys that are open more than enough for him to hit. Just seems like this year, I don't know. He doesn't feel like the Aaron Rodgers that's been there for a while.
Yeah, he's not as consistent as he was, because, you know, he still shows flashes of, you know, vintage Rodgers, you know, some really great passes. And usually they happen. Like, for instance, when he gets those pre-snap jukes and he can just sling it like basically, you know, asymmetric risk, you know, no downside, all upside, that pass is almost always like a vintage Rodgers play. But the thing is, I mean, I don't know if in his old age, he's just getting like more conservative with the ball. He's getting more hesitant. He's holding on to it longer, which is creating sacks, and then having him roll out. You know, he just doesn't move as well after some of his injuries. And when he's moving around, he just doesn't throw it as accurate as he did. But even to Justin's point, I mean, even sometimes when he has time, I mean, when he's throwing it out to the sideline sometimes, I mean, it's just way off. I mean, passes that you would never see Aaron Rodgers make. You know, he's always been good about not throwing interceptions. And so it seems like he's continuing to be good at that, and perhaps even too good at that, to the point where it's now actually detracting from his performance because he's actually losing risk appetite.
I agree with both what you're saying. I'm not sure why he looks that way. Maybe it's just kind of time catching up to him, but he definitely doesn't look like the same player from 2 or 3 years ago prior to injuries. I guess he's learning a new system. Could be his passive aggressive nature to not do well offensively and see if they can win and just kind of showing up. But yeah, I mean, I'm not sure. He moves well in the pocket. I think that calf injury a couple of years ago stemmed from like him not moving as much or trying to pick up first downs. But he's definitely missing passes that he usually makes. He's holding his arm here now, so we'll
Is
see
he coming back in? You're ahead of all of us.
I know.
They just kicked the extra point for me. I'm on what is it? Like the Roku that's coming so I don't get like the live.
Yeah, I'm watching on Hulu, and yeah, we're just about to keep the extra point here.
You youngsters don't have cable. You gotta buck up and get the cable stream. Yeah, I'm not sure yet. They're kicking off now, so.
So there's 59 seconds left, though. I mean, that's
59 seconds. Yeah.
All right, I haven't lost this prop yet. All right.
Especially with that Eagles defense that loves jumping slants. Yeah. I mean, at this point, I can't imagine that they're going to let them get behind them, but you could definitely hit this, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the biggest thing you can't factor in is usually Aaron Rodgers doesn't turn the ball over, and he does right there. Yeah, he wasn't even sacked, I don't think, one time last week, so I don't think he's expecting to get hit right now. So that's a bad turnover. But the good news is that the Eagles are -2, or I guess now -1 in turnover differential. So they'll definitely turn the ball over once or twice in the second half and even it out a little bit.
I wonder what the live line on this is right now.
Live line looks like
Eagles 3.5.
Yeah. Hasn't moved much. I'm way behind my for whatever reason. App is not coming up.
I mean, I know I saw like one of the injury news that one of the Eagles cornerbacks, he was out, and the Eagles cornerbacks are already, injured. I mean,
Sidney Jones got hurt like midway through the second quarter, I think.
Yeah. I mean, if Rodgers is healthy and he's going to play in the second half, I mean, Packers plus 3.5 looks very attractive.
Yeah, he's in the game, and he just threw a 10-yard pass to Adams. Seems like Adams is the only guy that's getting open at this point. You would think that some other guys could get open, but maybe he's just throwing the ball because he was mad. Last week he didn't catch it very many or get many targets, I guess.
That's the other thing, too, is and I don't think it's 100% the reason that's attributable to Aaron Rodgers' underperformance. But I mean, the thing is he never has any great weapons. I mean, if I was Aaron Rodgers, I would just I might roll the dice on trying to get like on Antonio Brown. I mean, I feel like Aaron Rodgers has always made a good receiver out of his wide receiver, core, but he's never had like a wide receiver before that he in himself is good even prior to coming to Green Bay, or is like a standalone star.
Yeah, I would think like a really good wide receiver for Aaron Rodgers would probably be like OBJ, because he runs really crisp routes and Aaron Rodgers anticipates those openings. Someone like that could put that ball in front of him to run, I think would be a good combination. I'm not sure anyone will hire Antonio Brown at the moment.
I will. I mean, I'll take a shot on Antonio Brown. I don't like if I'm a GM and he'll come in for relatively cheap. Take your shot. Who cares? Like, what happens at worst? I mean, first, let the accusations play out, I guess I would say. And if he's cleared, I mean, take your shot. If he's not cleared, no chance in hell I want him on my team. But the dude's an elite talent from a football perspective.
Absolutely, but he is definitely not right in the head. Like he's gonna rip apart your locker room one way or the other if he's in there for long enough.
The other thing about the receivers, Green Bay's I don't think they've drafted a first-round receiver with Rodgers at quarterback, right?
No.
I think they had Jordy Nelson like super early second, and Devontae Adams was in the second too. And besides that, I think they just went all basically late round.
Yeah. I mean, that's the other thing is too. I mean, yeah. So you have currently like his current group of wide receivers here, I mean, he really only has any chemistry whatsoever with Devontae Adams. And then beyond that, it's just a bunch of like first and second year wide receivers who have questionable hands, questionable route running. I mean, the thing is, like, I feel like the Packers have really wasted like the last 4 years of Aaron Rodgers' career with subpar talent around him. And then even before Aaron Jones, I think Aaron Jones is still, I mean, he's decent. But the other thing is, like, they've never given him a good running back either. I mean, this has always just been the Aaron Rodgers show. And if I was him, I mean, I know he has like this strong commitment to Green Bay, but it's like they've never, given him weapons to really succeed.
I think he runs some of those guys out of town with his kind of personality too, though.
Yeah, I mean, that could be the case, but I mean, the thing is at least like he has the talent though to at least, that I feel like it's worthwhile putting up with that sort of attitude, because then you have like other players like Jake Cutler, for instance, who have an attitude and don't back it up, and actually you lose respect for them for having that type of attitude.
But if you look at what was the guy? They had James Jones. Did okay for a couple years. They had Randall Cobb was there. Jordy Nelson. I know Jordy Nelson. I don't know why, they let him go. He was catching the ball and running by guys. Like it seemed like every game, Jordy Nelson would get behind the defense for a touchdown. Always going deep. Oh, what a grab! Holy moly!
we're just sitting here for like 15 more seconds until we get to see it.
That was a good catch, though. You'll like it. I don't know how the hell he caught it. You got creamed.
Where are they on the field?
The 20 maybe going in to score.
And how much time?
Wow. Maybe. Hold on. I'll tell you. They're showing a replay. 14 seconds. 14 seconds. They're on the 20.
Yeah, at least like 2 plays here.
Touchdown. You won. You hit your bet.
Aaron Rodgers.
Oh, man. Sorry.
You see that catch, dude? That was a great catch.
All right, so I guess I'm going to be the last one to see it here.
Hey, you millennials and your cord cutting, which I don't quite grasp. I don't grasp it because you're still getting internet from the cable company. So what the hell's the difference of paying the extra $20 for the TV?
We have one cable box in our house. It's upstairs, and then we have the Roku downstairs. So
gotcha.
It's instead of like $50 or something for a cable box, we paid like the however much it costs for the Roku. Now it's free.
Okay, I got you. All right. I know Brett doesn't have any cable boxes in his house.
No.
It's
Apple TV.
Of course. There's nothing wrong with that. You're just
streaming games definitely not very compatible with live betting. That's for sure.
You just got to go down to the local sports pub below you, I guess, a couple streets down, and watch the games. But no, that was a good catch. He got hit. I didn't think you caught it for a second, but you won your bet, and you knew
that was. Did you guys check Twitter? Zach
did see
sending a message, pounding his chest about the Eagles +4.
Yes. What did he have any response after that? Giving up a touchdown.
No, I mean, I think because again, the point is here too is again, like what I was saying earlier about the Packers +3.5, why it could be attractive was because if Aaron Rodgers is healthy and going to play, and then with those injuries now in the Eagles secondary.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And on top of it, I mean, even like the Eagles -4, I mean, if you've seen, obviously, if you're watching the first half, these Eagles they're scrapping tonight because they know this is a big game for them. If they lose this and go 1-3, it's going to be tough to catch Dallas, who's going to be, worst case 3-1. So they're 2 games back, a quarter of the season in. So they're playing hard. I mean, even this first couple of hits on defense, I mean, the guy killed the dude. He's out of the game. Even that punt, the guy ran in, just stuck his helmet in the side. These guys are playing as hard as they can. They don't want to go 1-4. I mean, potentially the Giants have a winnable game against the Redskins. They could be 3rd or 4th in the division after this weekend, or they'd be 3rd because the Redskins would be going 4th. The Giants win, they'd be 2-3, or what's that? I can't even think right now. 2-2, 2-2, and then Philly would be 1-3. So this is a huge game. I think it's just tough to go to Green Bay on Thursday night. I know the Eagles are a decent squad. But if Aaron Rodgers can score in 45 seconds and they figure out the second half, I don't think they're going to keep it within 4.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and then it'll be interesting to see how the Packers offense plays in the second half, because if they play consistent with the last 3 games, then they're probably not going to score any points.
Right.
In the second half.
Right. We'll see what happens here. If it's
Yeah, we'll see what
To
happens.
be fair, though, they were winning those games. Like they didn't
Yeah.
have to put the pedal down.
Well, and the other thing is I mean, the Packers have played incredibly tough defenses season to date.
Yes.
I mean, they played the Bears. They played the Broncos. They played the Vikings. Those are good defenses. The Eagles defense, especially a beaten up Eagles defense, is easily the worst defense that they've had to play. And again, I mean, this score should be, 21 to 13. I mean, I think that the Eagles, got the strip sack, got the quick score.
Absolutely. Yep.
I think the Packers are going to get at least 1 turnover in the second half from the Eagles. Either like a strip from Wentz, or Wentz kind of running around, floats one and gets picked. I think the Packers will get at least 1 turnover in the second half. I still expect, the Packers to probably still cover the -4.
Yeah.
Or like right around there.
I think you're at a good score right now, up 1. So now you're talking a field goal, puts them at that 4 spot, touchdown gets them out of that zone. So, again, the spread obviously is put in a good spot. We'll see what happens in the second half. Could go either way. You like, is there anything sticking out? I saw a little bit of what you were saying earlier today on that New Orleans-Dallas game. I think people are getting excited to see New Orleans, plus odds at home. I think that you and Zach were saying how you guys were thinking it's kind of like a trap bet that Dallas is going to go in there and kind of win that game, and the points for New Orleans aren't going to help them.
Yeah, I think, as of right now, it's still Thursday. I mean, Zach and I are going to talk a little bit tonight, and then at length tomorrow night. Still a lot to digest. We're not near close to finalizing any of our picks, but in this game specifically, I would say, we probably lean Cowboys. Road favorite in New Orleans doesn't sound very palatable on the surface, but Teddy Bridgewater, just has not played well. In the Rams game, he didn't play necessarily that well, even in spite of the score. Because if you kind of watch that game, there's a lot of fluky touchdowns. The Saints did play better than the Seahawks, but the Seahawks didn't play that well. And now when you look at kind of the Seahawks, and now we've kind of seen the Steelers, who the Seahawks beat 2 weeks ago. It's possible the Seahawks defense is just really bad.
They just aren't
and that helped the Saints. But Bridgewater, he didn't look good in last year, when he started week 17, did not look good versus the Rams. And maybe you can say, he didn't know he was going to play, wasn't prepared, blah, blah. But usually a lot of times when a quarterback does come in and the defense isn't prepared for him, that quarterback can usually actually take advantage. And he didn't at all. So, and then again, I wasn't impressed with his performance versus the Seahawks.
He was doing a lot of drop pass, screen passes. Everything was checked down to the line.
Yeah. So. And to quantify that, I had actually read that his average depth of throw, so not even a completion, but his average depth of throw was 3.5 yards. And then his average completion was 1.5 yards.
Oh,
so that's really ugly, and clearly, playing the Rams got a decent defense, but the Cowboys defense is easily going to be the best defense that he's seen so far in his short time so far this season. We really like Kellen Moore as offensive coordinator. I think as a lot of bettors kind of do. I think he's just kind of opened up the Cowboys offense because there's always so much talent there, but Jason Garrett is just such a bad coach that he just really restricted this otherwise talented team. And now you have Kellen Moore, young millennial, open-minded. And, I think, I've tweeted about this before too. Just, I feel like a lot of people don't really appreciate the power of millennial coaches because, again, we grew up like coaching since we were 7,
Yeah,
playing
Madden.
games, doing plays, making rosters, doing franchise mode, playing entire seasons, multiple seasons. And then back when there was like the NCAA football, like recruiting and all this other type of stuff. And we've been doing it since a young age. And, Vic Fangio, like, I mean, I think Vic Fangio is like a great example of just like an old school coach that is like the game is passing him by. And I'm just going to be so excited to see what the league's going to look like in 10 years. Say when our generation kind of like is getting more and more head coaching jobs, I think the game's going to really change and be way more fun, way more interesting.
Yeah. Bales, you looking at any lines this weekend that pop out at you?
I mean, when I came on here, I was originally going to say Miami, and I can't do it. I can't even talk about the game. So I'm changing it. And right now I'm looking at Indianapolis -7 at +100. If only for the sheer fact that Oakland is just a very bad team. And I feel like they got slightly overhyped a little bit after their first game because essentially people weren't really expecting them to come out and beat anyone after all that drama.
Yeah.
They came out, not only did they win, they won by 8, and people were like, oh man. But now we know that Denver is not a good team.
It's horrendous.
They kind of hyped up Denver with Vic Fangio, as you said, when he came in to take over. Joe Flacco is kind of better than what they've had previous, I guess. But I mean, I didn't really.
Was supposed to be better, and they have no sacks.
Yeah,
with Von Miller and Bradley Chubb. Yeah. I mean, I don't even know how it's possible.
Yeah,
it's just bad. I mean, now they're traveling to Indianapolis, so they're going from Oakland to Indy. They got basically hammered by the Chiefs and the Vikings last week. I think Indy is so much better than anyone was anticipating. Once Luck went out, retired, everyone essentially wrote Indy off as they had absolutely no shot at winning anything because people love to hate Jacoby Brissett. I don't understand it. And even if you don't think Brissett's that good, they don't really need to rely on him that much. They have a very solid defense. They can ride Marlon Mack. I don't know. 7's a decent amount, but I feel like this is a combination of slightly still overvaluing Oakland while undervaluing Indianapolis quite a bit again.
Yeah. It'll be worthwhile to see if T.Y. Hilton's playing. I know he was injured. I think he missed the second half. And when he was out, the Colts offense definitely significantly slowed down. So I don't know what his current status was, but I know he was at least questionable.
He's still questionable.
He hasn't practiced, but they said that they quote, he's up in the air, but they feel like he's leaning more towards playing than not.
Okay.
I would assume if Hilton's out, I probably am not going to lay 7 points on them. That's a little wide for losing probably your best offensive weapon. But if he's in, I feel like it should be much wider.
Yeah, I think one of the things I'm looking at, I think Detroit's being overvalued a little bit here, and I think Kansas City. Detroit doesn't get a lot of pressure on the QB, and Mahomes is like 80% when he's not pressured on passes. So if he's not getting pressured and he has those wide receivers, I think Kansas City is going to run the score up a little bit on Detroit. I just don't think they have the team to hang with them. So I think you're getting a good spot at 6.5 on Kansas City.
Yeah, and actually, I was gonna say Jackie.
Hey. That's not me, but it is.
But no, Chris, I think you make a good point too, and actually to quantify the amount of or the lack of pressure that the Lions get, they're actually ranked 31st,
right,
in pressure, and getting pressure on the quarterback. And I know Zach actually had posted on Twitter a couple of like pretty amazing stats of like basically when you can't get pressure on Mahomes. Right. I mean, obviously it makes total sense that that's when he's going to do his real damage.
Right.
The other thing is actually what I saw on Twitter as well, and I think I retweeted this. Mahomes has played one game in a dome. So this is only going to be his second game in a dome. And you feel like, normally like these elite, quick players play actually much better in a dome
right.
than they do on natural grass. So
did he play Atlanta? Is that his dome game?
I think
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think he played in Atlanta, right?
Okay. Yeah. So he plays on that.
That was
super
the dome
fast,
game.
and those guys are super fast, which is crazy. That guy is it Hardman? Is that the guy's last name? I picked him up on one of you guys. I think Justin told me to pick him up in fantasy. I picked him up, and he had that nice 97-yard touchdown.
Yeah, Miko Hardman from Georgia, SEC baby. Like go Gators, go Gators. But actually, and last week in our aggressives portfolio, we actually had a prop on Miko Hardman plus like 400 to score a touchdown, and like you mentioned, he had that like 70-yard touchdown. So that was nice.
Against the Ravens, which was a good win.
Yeah, which we have a lot of internal disagreement within the Karma crew.
Yeah,
of the Ravens.
And I'm from Baltimore, and all my boys back home were not happy that they lost last week to Kansas City. But I did get that game wrong because the Ravens did backdoor cover at the end of the game when the game was meaningless and over.
Yeah, luckily, because I mean that was the thing is, I mean you can't trust the Chiefs defense.
No, they're not great.
Yeah, and the thing is it looks like, I mean, I was watching that game closely because we had Ravens plus 6.5 in our circuit contest. And I mean, the Chiefs actually, I mean, they took their foot off the pedal there in the fourth quarter. I mean, they basically stopped trying to score. It wasn't the same KC offense. They were kind of just running like when they were expected to run. And basically gave the ball back to the Ravens. And it didn't matter from kind of like a game management perspective because the Ravens were out of reach. But from a point spreads perspective, it was fantastic. And I think that's the one thing that I think you're always going to have to be conscious about when thinking about betting against the Chiefs is even this week, Chiefs-Lions. I mean, the Lions like 6.5. Looked super attractive to bet the Chiefs. Say, hey, can the Chiefs beat the Lions by more than a touchdown? Kind of given all the facts that we already discussed. Lions can't get pressure. Should they win by a touchdown? Yeah. But, I mean, the Chiefs' defense is just so bad that
stop trying to score.
I think those backdoor covers can happen all season.
Yeah, and even in that Oakland game, they just kind of stopped trying to score after they scored 28 in a quarter. They just didn't try to really.
Yeah, that's a great point too, because they scored 0 in the first quarter, 28 in the second quarter, 0 in the third, 0 in the fourth. So I mean, there was actually a few plays they probably should have scored 42 points.
Yeah.
But there's a couple turnovers and stuff. But yeah, I mean that's obviously and I think this Chiefs Lions line is a little fishy because I mean 6.5 does look super attractive. I want to bet it, but I just I don't know if I can.
Man, we'll see. We'll see this weekend, I guess.
Just updating what was previously said. This is his first dome game in the NFL. Mahomes. This will be his first dome game. That's what I'm seeing anyway. I just looked up a bunch of plays. They all said it.
And then you got Buffalo and New England. You got a 7-point line. New England and Buffalo, and historically, New England goes in there and whips Buffalo's tail on the regular. I did predict the Buffalo Bills to be 3-1 after 4 weeks, so I'm headed in the right direction. I still think that's going to happen. So can New England beat them by 7? Absolutely. I think that New England goes in there and beats up on them pretty good this weekend. It kind of brings them back to earth. Buffalo struggled a little bit against a bad Cincy team. They beat a terrible Jets team, but they still had Sam Darnold. And what was the other game that they beat? I can't remember. Beginning who they played.
They beat the Giants and Bengals.
Oh, the Giants, and that was before Daniel Jones. And I actually wrote up in that same article, like, I think the Giants are awful until they change to Daniel Jones, and then they might be able to get the 6 wins, over the 6-win mark. And so they got three easy winners, and that comes from a good scheduling. You luck out. But I think New England, their defense is just really tough, and I think they're going to struggle a little bit trying to move the ball as much as they have. and of course you still have Brady back there. Got a banged up receiver core. Even I think Josh Gordon hurt his finger. Edelman is questionable, but I still think they have enough to get the job done. They'll probably just switch it up and start running the ball a little more swing passes to the running back. It'll be a weekend. The running back gets all the touchdowns for New England.
I think what's really going to be close to monitor here is definitely like the Edelman injury. I think Gordon's definitely playing. Edelman's probably is going to play. But the thing is, what makes me a little uneasy about possibly taking Patriots in this game is it wasn't kind of exploited in the Jets game because the Jets are totally injured themselves. But the Patriots offensive line is very injured. So I think, like Isaiah Wynn was like hurt. They're already missing like their center Mark Andrews. They're missing like I think like Isaiah Cannon or like one of their other offensive linemen. And the Bills' defensive line is like balling out this year. I think this is a home game for the Bills. Not that it's like an amazing home field advantage or anything, but I feel like there's going to be a lot of energy. You would imagine. 3-0 versus the Patriots. If you win this game, you're winning the division on top of the Patriots. Yeah. I mean, Brady's obviously looked amazing this season, but they're still, like when he's under pressure, I mean, things break down for him. And I just wonder how aggressive they want to be in this game. And then the other thing is we're still within this 4-week September period when the Patriots have been known to kind of lay eggs.
True.
And lost to the Lions at home last year. Yep. I think they started 2-2 last year. I forgot who the other team was that they lost to last year.
Jaguars.
Jaguars, yeah.
It was like a 9-6 game or something ridiculous.
Yeah, and so again, Josh Allen worries me against a great Patriots defense for sure. But I mean, I probably won't be betting the Patriots for the reasons that I just discussed.
Yeah, I don't know if I'll be laying straight money, but in our pick 'em match, obviously we got to take all 16 kind of games. So
yeah.
I don't know exactly where I'm going yet, but that's the hard part, obviously, with the spread where you get to choose 5 games like you guys are doing. And if you don't know and you're watching, Brett and Zach are competing in the circuit competition, and they're tied for second currently. And if they have a good weekend, they had a chance to finish first in the first quarter of the season and win a good chunk of change. So hopefully they're able to pick 5 winners this weekend and keep that rolling, because that's pretty sweet, especially if you hit the 150K. And even though you got to split it, it's still a solid chunk of change to go away on vacation with.
Yeah, well, it's worth noting that in the Super Contest last year, going into week 17, we were in like 60th place. We were very competitive, and we basically had calculated that if we went 5-0 in week 17, we were basically going to hit in the range of like $60,000 to $80,000 prize. Instead, we went 2-3, our worst week of the entire season, fell out of the top 100, finished 101st place, netting $0. So
anything's possible. It's gambling. That's part of it. So anything else you like, Bales, this weekend?
So gonna try and hope some of the karma's on our side this time, hopefully.
Absolutely. Bet karma.
Yeah. I think that's what I'm looking at right now, honestly. Okay. I still have a bunch more research that I need to do before we get picks out, but obviously we're going to post our picks. So just be sure to follow the Twitter and the website and whatnot, and you can find all those later.
And the Bet Karma, all the picks from the experts will be out Saturday afternoon. Picks from Brett will be out Saturday, I believe. Bales puts his out Saturday. My college picks and Justin's come out tomorrow. And then I'll be putting out my NFL picks on Saturday as well. So please subscribe to YouTube. Check us out on Twitter. Follow us at dfskarma.com. Feel free to ask us any questions you need. I think the game started back up about 2 minutes into it. So Packers haven't scored yet, though.